everyone, so for this week's video I am finally coloring that Vanellope illustration that I posted the inking for back in January. I did not realize that it had been almost a year since I posted that inking video, and I'm really sorry that it took me so long to color this, but I kind of had been avoiding it since I knew it was going to take a really long time to color, even though in actuality it only ended up taking me about 3.5 hours to color the entire thing, and I thought it was going to take like 6 hours, and I'm like, I don't want to do it because it's going to take so long, but I'm glad that I ended up coloring this because I do really like how it turned out, and it was a lot of fun to color because I got to use a lot of like really vibrant colors that I normally tend to stay away from because they don't really match with the style that I like to color in. But it's finally being colored, so yay. So for this commentary, I'm not going to talk too much about this illustration because I'm pretty sure that I did in my previous commentary, but I am going to, from now on, for my commentaries, I'm going to pick a topic that I've been asked in a comment from a previous video and just kind of pick that and talk about it. So if there's something you've been wanting me to talk about in a commentary, you can leave me a comment down below and I might pick it for a future commentary topic. So go do that if you want me to talk about things, because I never have like any idea about what to talk about in commentary. So the commentary topic that I chose for this week is I'm going to talk about how I started drawing and how I started improving as an artist over the amount of time that I've been drawing, because that is something I get asked a lot, and I've answered it in comments before, but I've never really talked about it in a video. So I began drawing when I was 11, and I'm 28 now, so it's been a while. I started drawing, I think it was late 1997 or early 1998, and I saw this little show on Cartoon Network called Sailor Moon. And I really liked the style that the show was in because I'd never seen anime before and had no idea what it was, but I really liked that drawing, or the animation style, and I'm like, I'm gonna learn to draw in that style, and that's what got me started drawing. I had been drawing for most of my life, just like a lot of young people like to draw. Like, I'd always been drawing and stuff since I was little, but I started really taking drawing seriously when I started watching Sailor Moon because I loved everything about that show, and I still love that show, so nothing has changed. But how I started drawing was I would take a VHS tape, I would record an episode of Sailor Moon from Cartoon Network, and then I would pause the VHS tape later on, and I would just draw whatever was on the screen, and that's how I taught myself how to draw, was like pausing picture in picture on a TV while I was watching Sailor Moon, and I'm like, I'm gonna learn to draw. And so that's how I learned to draw in an anime style, was just by observing like a scene on a TV and just trying to copy it the best I could on paper. And that's how I taught myself how to draw. And I did that for a really long time. There was basically no anime around when I was young. Like, we didn't have very good access to the internet. There was no manga. Like, it was hard to get a hold of and learn about. So this thing was just something I had to teach myself because there were no like how to draw manga books or anything back then. But so I drew like that kind of stuff for a while by myself, and then I made some friends who were also into anime. One of those people is my roommate Brittany, who is still my best friend after all this time. I met her when I was in 7th grade, and we're still best friends, so you can make really good friends if you have things in common. But we both started taking art classes together, and we're like, we're going to improve, and we're going to draw manga, and we're going to move to Japan and be manga artists, even though that's totally unrealistic, but whatever. But so that's what we did. We both decided to start taking art classes, and I was really serious about it. Like, I wanted to learn to draw, so I wanted to learn to draw. I wanted to learn to be an artist, so I took any kind of art class I could take. I took like ceramics and like printmaking and all kinds of stuff that didn't really even have anything to do with the drawing, but I wanted to become an artist, so I just kind of absorbed myself into the entire mindset of becoming an artist. And that's how things continued for me for a really long time. Like, when manga started being released at the local bookstore, I would go, this was back when manga cost like $20 each. It was expensive. But so I would buy a manga and I would study the style, and I would pick things that I liked out of that style and try and incorporate it into my own drawing. Like, when I started reading Rurouni Kenshin, I really liked the inking style in that manga, so that's how I taught myself how to ink, was mimicking that style in the manga, because it is a really cool inking style, and I still ink like that today. But so it was just like little things that I would take from like things that I liked, like manga that I liked or shows that I liked, and I would take them and try and kind of mesh them into my own way of working, and that's how I developed my own drawing style. It took a really long time, and that's how it's supposed to, because you don't get your own drawing style by like just wanting it. You have to work for it. But so that continued for a really long time until I got into in high school. I still took all the art classes. I think I took every single art class at my high school, except for like wood shop, because they considered that an art class, but I didn't, because nah, it's not for me. But so I just continued to take art classes. I was one of those people that was not doing their homework. I was sitting and drawing instead because I was terrible, and I wish that I hadn't done that, but you know, that happened. But it was probably after I graduated from high school, when I was at community college, where I decided that I kind of wanted to branch out from drawing just anime, because the entire time I'd been drawing up until that point I had only been drawing anime. I'd never tried anything else. I had tried different mediums and techniques and stuff, but I'd never branched out style-wise. And so that's when I started drawing like other things, and that's also the point where I stopped drawing totally, because things were happening in my life that weren't too great, and I just didn't want to draw anymore, and I was like, meh. That's when I stopped going to school, and I just was working, and things were awful. But when I look back at that point now, I'm so glad that that happened to me, even though I didn't draw for about a year, because that was during the time when I decided that I wanted to go back to college, and I wanted to study animation, because I had really got into Disney. I loved Disney animation, I still do. And that really strongly influenced me to start working in a different style, and I stopped drawing anime totally, and I haven't drawn it since. But my style just kind of came out of the influences of both the anime style and like the Western animation style, and it kind of just meshed into the style that I'm drawing in now. And that's when I started, about a little bit before I started my YouTube channel, and a little bit before I started going to school. I drew because I really enjoyed doing it, not because I wanted to improve, but that's kind of how you have to improve. You have to improve through practice and trial and error, and you stick with it because you love it, not because you want to improve or you want to get better, but you want to be able to create the things that you want to create. And I think that's really important, not that a lot of young artists don't really understand. Like, I want to be better because I want my art to look good. No, you want to be better because you want to feel good about the things you're creating, and you want to be able to create the things that you want, not just because it looks good, but because you love doing it. So if you want to improve your art style, don't be afraid to try something new. If you've been drawing anime your whole artistic life, try drawing something different. And don't just do it once, do it multiple times, because drawing something once is not going to help you improve, but drawing it over and over and over again and practicing it is going to help you improve. And that's what I did, and that's what worked for me. So I guess that's really all the time I have for this commentary. They always seem to go by really fast, but if you have a commentary topic you'd like me to talk about in a future video, you can leave me a comment down below. How did you start out as an artist? What kind of influence did you have that made you want to become a better artist? Let me know in the comments down below, because I actually am curious. I like to hear about how other people worked and how they improved and stuff. So I guess that is all I have time for, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!